Did you see the Fight Card 252 at all, AJ? I know you're a big mixed martial arts fan.
Yeah, I saw most of it on replay. I got it and was not able to stay awake for it, and saw it the next day.
I don't know. By the way, when I was on with Dana White live on his IG to hype up the weekend, obviously, congrats.
Yeah, how'd that go, by the way? I didn't get to see it.
Well, the biggest issue here is everybody knows my house, not this house. This house has 5G internet, which I need to get in my fucking house stat. I need to get this internet to my house stat. My house has no internet. The day of the draft, the last day of the draft, it has internet, but it's just so shit. And there's no phone service because I'm out in the middle of nowhere a little bit. So it's been quite a problem. I mean, it has been quite a problem for me. Posting things, especially when you run an internet business, not having an internet at your house is problematic. So we kind of got to fix a little bit. But I was supposed to go live on the last day of draft with Hot Rod, Rodrigo Blankenship, the kicker for the Georgia Bulldogs. I was supposed to go on ESPN NFL's live account with him for like 5-10 minutes going into draft day to ask him how he's feeling because everybody was presumed that he was going to get drafted. I couldn't get connected to the fucking internet on my phone to do IG live like 5 minutes before it happened. So I couldn't even get on the thing to do the interview, which by the way turns out to be good because he didn't end up getting drafted. So I assume anything that he would have said there would have got shoved in his face. He's not with the Colts. He's in competition with Chase McLaughlin for the kicking gig. I'm excited to see how that works out. So this was my only other time trying to do Instagram live. Was this one. And I was at my house, and he tweeted or Instagram posted it was going to be at 5:30. Turns out it happens at 5, okay? So I get a text message in the middle of my Stairmaster climb. No big deal, climbing these stairs. And they're like, hey, are you good to go in a couple minutes? I'm like, yeah, sure, let's rock or whatever. So now I have to find one spot in my property that has good service. So I find this one little piece of the driveway that had 4 bars as opposed to 2 bars everywhere else. I get on there. He's connected. I try to connect to him. And Dana leads off with saying, oh, shit, it's not connected. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no, it's going to happen again. We get connected. 6-minute conversation. I dropped that asshole Ariel Helwani's name in there. I predicted it would go to a decision, which was right, but I said Cormier would win because of his retirement. Turns out Stipe, monster, animal, great guy, Ohioan. He is the heavyweight champ. Can't wait to see who's next for him. But I enjoyed the hell out of talking to Dana White. I think he enjoyed it a little bit too. The last time he did this for UFC 251 or whatever, Lil Wayne was the guest. So quite a drop down, and I told him that immediately that I should not be on this call. But I think he enjoyed the conversation. He's a legend, that guy.
Oh, I'm sure he enjoyed it. Are you kidding me? What do you think? How do you like Stipe's hair? He grew it out a little bit. Remind you a little bit of when John Cena grew his hair out and started wrestling again.
See, I did not know that Stipe normally had short hair. I did not know that. So when I saw, because I think I saw him with a hat. I think he had a hat on at the Columbus, Ohio State College game day thing. He was, by the way, such a gentleman there. He crowd surfed with me at that thing. I mean, it was awesome. But he walked in. When I saw him in the weigh-ins, he just looked massive and lean, and he was so much bigger than Cormier. And then he hit him with that shot early, and they think that's what messed up his eye. And then the poke later obviously ended that cornea thing. But I was wondering this, because Dana and everybody was like, it wasn't the poke in the eye that got the eye. It was a punch earlier that kind of offset it, and then the poke happened. I would assume there's a lot of those feints, like you're kind of squaring the person up. And since Cormier couldn't see out of that left eye, now this is not me speaking for Cormier, and Cormier hasn't seen this, that left little arm there as like a judge of how far he is or whatever, I would assume normally the head moves with that from Cormier. But since he couldn't see anything in there, that thing went, 3 knuckles deep in his eyeball, and then it was over. He fucking couldn't see a single thing. Stipe, the fireman, gets a big win.
I mean, I guess it's a bit controversial, but you're right. He got caught with a shot early, but you just look at that picture. You tell me, okay, that obviously affected him a lot, but it goes back to the old argument. Everyone's always talking about UFC needs to get new gloves because guys are always reaching out, gauging distance with that little jab hand. John Jones, it happens all the time. I think it's just sometimes it's just a habit on how they kind of how they move, and your fingers are extended, man. You're going to catch them. I think if you got a couple like nails right into your eyeball and scratch your cornea with your quads. What are you doing?
Well, I wanted to show you what I watched John Jones do. These shorts are obviously pretty tight around the thighs. I'm getting pretty comfortable there. But a lot of conversation about that guy from the Packers, by the way, with his quads.
Oh, A.J. Dillon.
Yeah. They look good. Those look good. Allegedly, Connor said he tackled that guy in high school.
The clip is coming. Don't worry.
I watched John Jones, though, in Baltimore. I forget who he fought. He did the entire Ray Lewis entrance or whatever. I mean, it was fucking electric in there. I watched him just hold a guy's head like this for, I think, 3 rounds. Just held a guy's head like this. And as soon as he let go, elbow to the guy's face and then right back to his head. Then elbow go to his face. I think he could have ended it maybe 10 seconds in. He was just toying with the guy because it was his first fight back. But that's a big – you see a lot for the 1-2. There's like a lot of like – it's almost like a gauge where he's at. Okay, bang, we come in over the top. And that one just so happened to go right in the suckle.
And he was eating. Stipe was throwing right, so that was the eye he couldn't really see with the right hand. So I mean, he really was fucked.
Hey, now to DC's credit, in the first round, he had Stipe.
Oh yeah,
he had him. He had a bit wobbly. Let me wobble back to me corner. You know, and if he would have got him, I think he potentially ends it. But those guys are two fucking warriors. A lot of big boys swinging hands at each other on Saturday night. A lot of big hands being swung.
Yeah,
and then Sugar
do we need
Sean.
a fourth one? That was their trilogy. Do we need to see a fourth fight now just because the eye poke kind of threw us off?
Cormier said he'll only fight for championships. Doesn't see that coming in the future. I don't know if Dana White's going to be pushing that either. I would assume they move to the next one. I would like to see Cormier just do fucking commentary, though. He's really good on
He's phenomenal on commentary. I'd say the hot one, though, that got everyone talking as soon as the DC-Stipe fight was over, John Jones jumps right on his Twitter. He's ready to fucking go to heavyweight, man. He's been dying for it.
And then what's his face told him the waiters. Ngannou said you need to wait your turn. I got next. If we got Ngannou and Bones or Stipe and Bones, I am here for it. And if you're Bones, by the way, you've probably been eating a little bit, lifting a little bit while your time. You're like, I'll go up to heavyweight. Sure, fucking what? I don't have to cut 30 pounds anymore.
You take a look at his IG, man. Jones he's gotten really heavy into Olympic style powerlifting.
That's what got me here, by the way.
Big squats, deadlifts guy. He's trying to bulk up, man. Put some weight on those chicken legs.
Hang clean, power clean. Bones, what? He's like six fuck ups away from being the greatest fighter of all time.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's basically what it is. Like just greatest. By the way, I got a chance to, after that fight where he was just toying with the guy, I got a chance to party with him and the family, the after party and everything. Very nice man. He just seems like he gets into situations that are not great for him and his career or for the UFC. That was a guy at one time, AJ, I thought he could do the Floyd Mayweather and sell out his own fucking pay-per-view if he wanted without the UFC whenever he was going. Because remember, he was a Nike athlete. He was on the cover of he was John Bones Jones was household name in UFC, and there wasn't a lot of household names. I thought there was a chance he could become his own businessman. He obviously stayed with the UFC, kept doing his thing, fucked up a couple times. If he gets back in there, that's only good news for the UFC.
I think how good he was almost like a detriment to his career because he just cleaned out that division and made those fights look so easy that it was like, you know, I mean, it seems like anytime he fights now, it's like, okay, yeah, John Jones is going to win.
Zito just sent me a picture. Turns out Stipe did not have a hat on at College Game Day. He did have short hair, and I was talking with him face to face.
Fact checking, baby.
Fact check by Zeke. He was a good guy over there. I hope Bones gets back in, though, man. He was awesome to watch.
UFC needs those guys. Like, the big fights are the ones that, you know, at least me, like, I only watch the big ones. I'm not going to watch the one every week.
Sugar Sean just lost because of a potential nerve getting kicked out in his shin or a hurt ankle, and he couldn't plan on it. That's a big name that everybody was starting to love. Yeah. Then you got the Street Jesus. Masvidal. He lost, taking the fight last minute, basically did not look his best. Yep. Conor McGregor's not fighting this year. Now granted, Dana will figure it out, and people are watching UFC fights because people love it, but they do need their big names to continue to go on a run. And Sugar Sean getting hurt was kind of a bummer, AJ.
Stunk.
Yeah, every time Sugar Sean seems like he's always like on the cusp of becoming a superstar. So yeah, it sucks that this happened to him. I mean, he's like the people's champ already. The dude has different hairstyle and dyes a different way. Did you see? Was it true he dyed his hair the same colors as the flag of where Marlon Vera's from?
Yeah. He's from Ecuador?
Yeah.
Did anybody ask him how fucking hot it is down there? Because I've never met anybody from Ecuador, but all I've ever heard is like, oh, you think it's hot? You should be fucking Ecuador or whatever. I'm like, well, I've never been. I've never met anybody there. I've heard that's the hottest place on earth.
Right on the equator.
Yep.
But turns out Death Valley had the hottest days in the history of existence, I guess, here the last couple of days. What was it?
130 degrees yesterday.
130 degrees in Death Valley, AJ. Don't go over there. I like to stay.
But it feels good in Orlando. No humidity, right?
I'll tell you what, pretty thick, but we're inside now. If you do see, we did learn from our mistakes whenever you were down here for a couple of days, which, by the way, I heard you're coming back down Wednesday, right?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
am I coming back down to, am I going to be doing the show in this house?
Yeah.
The old house? What's going on?
This house. This is where it'll be happening. We learned from last week, okay? We learned from last week. That patio 700 fucking degrees out there. Okay, it was very hot, sweaty. You get up from there, every piece of my body was drenched, and I'd have to, I did not pack enough clothes, okay, to deal with sweating through all my jorts and all my underwear here 3 times a day. So this time when we got in this drug lord house, we're like, let's set it up right here. 5G internet on this fucking thing. It's bad. I mean, AJ, we are living high society for this fight week.